Hey, we are back with another week of Smogtour, and this week is week 5, which means it's already past halfway through. And this is for Gen 7 OU, so this is Sun and Moon. And look, my team is super fire. I came up with 6 new pawns, and I told you guys I'm changing it up. And honestly, I did not have any good preparation for this team. I just put them all together. I don't even know if they mix and match well, but we're gonna see how we do against this opponent. And this is, mind you, this is a tournament, so I just put this team together without testing it. So I just went straight to the tournament, and I guess this will be my first time trying it against an actual opponent, mind you, a really tough opponent. So my opponent goes by the name of Thanel, and his team looks pretty fairly standard with Latios, Tornadoes, Toxic Peg, which is annoying, Tapu Koko, and Ferrothorn. Instead of breaking down what each mine of mine does, I'm just going to show you the replay. Let's get straight into it. We have a lot to go into. Alright, so let's go. Alright, so this is the first opponent. He laid off with Tapu Koko, I laid off with Snorlax. And this is perfect for me because I'm not scared. I'm just going to go for a return. And that return did a crit of 57%. So I was like, oh wow, that does so much. I'm going to switch out into Buzzwole. Expect him to go for Toxic or something like that. I don't really have anything for that. I go into Buzzwole. I'm not going to take anything. So he goes for knock off my lefties. He goes into Tornado. I expected that. So I switch into my Weavile. Here I go for SD. Expect him to switch out also. So this is perfect. I go for knockoff here and almost knock him out as he goes for Haze. I'm thinking this knockoff should knock him out, but he lived with 4 HP, and I didn't do any damage calculation because you know I'm not the one to pull out a calculator. So instead, I'm just going to wing it here, and this is one of my biggest mistakes because I should have put Life Orb. So even before this game, I was thinking about putting Life Orb in Weavile, but I was like, everyone has a Weavile, Life Orb, so I might as well just slap a expert belt, and you know I have to pay for it now, I guess. So here he goes for recover, and now this is gonna be really hard. So at this point, I actually could continue going for SD and then going for knockoff because if I keep switching the move back and forth, it will obviously be more PPs than how much haze he has in recover he has. Because he has 16 recover, and haze he probably has a lot, but I don't care about the haze because as soon as his recover is done, yeah, his Toxic Peg actually loses my Weavile. So I could have honestly gone straight for SD and knockoff, but I got really impatient, and again, this is one of my downfall. As you'll see that I decided to switch out as soon as I get that recover off. So I did 50% here. Obviously, he goes through Haze. I'm gonna switch out, expecting to go for recover, and here I bring him out into Necrozma, and Necrozma is gonna scare him off. As he goes into Latias, and I go for Calm Mind. Here. I don't have Dark Pulse, so again, this is one of the reasons why this team didn't really work as soon as I played against my opponent, because my Necrozma, if he had Dark Pulse, I would have at least fared against Latias instead of switching out. But here I'm gonna have to be forced to switch on B-Joint. This is kind of risky in a bit, in a way, because he could honestly just go for Psychic, which I don't expect him to do. That's why I switch out. But anyways, he could have gone to Ice Beam or anything like that. But he goes to Calm Mind here, as well as I go on Beedrill, so I do have the switch advantage. I'm going to make an evolution, go for a U-turn. U-turn out of there, take some Rocket Helmet, go back to Weavile, and I don't think he expects me to go for Sword Dance, so I decide to just go for Ice Punch to be safe. He goes on Toxic Peg, you know Toxic could take it. Here, I go on Victory Bell, he goes for Skull. He burns me, unfortunately. But luckily, I am not attacking physical. So I'm going to switch out into Necrozma, expecting him to switch out as well. But he switches out into Ferrothorn, and I was not expecting to switch out, so I go for Heat Wave, but I guess he did predict that. As I'm going to switch out into Snorlax as he goes for Ice Beam, so I kind of know now he has Ice Beam, Calm Mind, maybe Sight Shot. I take this time to set up with Curse as he goes into Gliscor, but he taunts me, but unfortunately I crit him this time. That definitely didn't matter, but it just made the game quicker. He goes into Toxic Peg trying to Haze, but I'm going to switch on Necrozma. Necrozma is going to scare him off, so I'm going to double switch into Beedrill. A mouthful, basically, a lot to say. As I do go for knockoff on his incoming Tornadoes after he switches out from his Latios. And now he goes back into Toxic Peg. I'm going to U-turn here, U-turn out into Kozma, should scare him off. But now he goes into Latias again as I go to Photon Geyser, does absolutely nothing. Here he switches out into Felthorn. I'm switching to Snorlax. I do have Fire Punch. I'm going to go for Curse first just to see if he's going to switch out. He doesn't, he goes for Rocks. So I'm thinking, okay, he's definitely going to switch out this time. So I'm going to go for Return, but he actually stays in, go for Leech. And at this point, I decide he might as well stay in right now because he's benefiting. So I'm going to go for Fire Punch. But unfortunately, he switches out. So it's like, oh man. At this point, I'm pretty useless. I go into Kozma trying to scare him off as he goes for Haze. I switch back to Snorlax, trying to pressure him as he goes into Latias, but I'm taking rock damage because I'm not really looking that good. As I just go for Return, it does 37% to his Toxic Pet. He just go for Scar. I'm hoping that he don't burn me. He doesn't burn me, so I'm perfectly able to go for Return and go for Return again. And he's going to keep recovering, and so I'm just going to fast forward this as he goes for Skull. He does get the burn, but I do get my berry activated and I try to recycle to get my Figure Berry. But at this point it's useless because I don't have rest or anything like that. Here he switches out for some reason to Tapu Koko. I guess he had no patience, but that's, as you can see, that's still there a lot. So I activate it after he's done the bolt, and for some reason I switch out my Murphy Fire Lash. I should have went for Return, but now he's able to go for Roost, and I'm just going to keep returning just to make sure that he is low enough. But then I guess he got sick and tired here. He decided to go for a Z move to see Twinkle Tackle, knock me out. I go to V-Draw, now I'm faster. As he goes into Felthorn, I'm just going to knock off his Iron Barbs. It doesn't do anything. Decides to switch out into a Victory Belt as he just goes for Power Whip. And here, I was like, you know what, I'm about to set up in your ass. And so I'm going to set up Soul Beam, expecting to switch out, but he doesn't switch out. I was expecting to switch out to his Toxic Pet, but smart than that, he takes that, goes into Latias. I was like, please, let me just go for Slug Bomb with the poison. I do get the poison off at least, so he's able to boost off. I do die next turn after another Slug Bomb. I just died from my own burn as he just gets recovered, but he died. He kind of loses damage from his poison. Here's my perfect time to set up my Weavile, and this is what I was saying earlier, because like I said, at this point I realized that I could definitely win with Weavile even though he goes for Haze, because I do have more PP. So I'm going to keep going for SD. I should have known this earlier, that will save all of that middle thing that I just explained. But I keep going SD, and then we're going to keep trading until he finally decides to go for Skull, and luckily he doesn't burn me. And I'm able to knock him out too. And now he goes into Coco, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna switch on to Beedrill just to let him die. I am going to go into Necrozma, and he goes for T-Bolt. I was hoping this Photon would kill him, to be honest, because it does 100%, but it almost killed him, which sucks, as he's able to knock me out. And at this point, I go into Buzzwole, which I don't know why I did that. As he goes Dazzling Gleam, that just knocked me out. But it wouldn't matter because he has this Latias, which will be able to knock me out. But here I decided to stay in, thinking that he's going to switch out. Weavile honestly could have taken out the remaining of his team, remaining mons, because if I did Ice Shot, let's say, it would knock him out. He goes into his Felthorn, which has 70%. I don't know if Low Kick would knock him out, but I do know he is heavy. And then his Tornadus would be knocked out with Ice Punch, and then his Latias would probably be knocked out by Ice Punch. Now I'll still lose, but like I'll have gotten very, very close. But anyways, that will conclude this round. Unfortunately, I did get eliminated first round, and we will move on to Sunday, which is the next time I play. I'm gonna show you now. Let's see. So my next opponent goes by the name of Lighthouse. So that's my opponent, and this time I made significant changes. I decided that I'm going to switch out one of my mons for Heatran because since my Victory Belt does have a Sunny Day, as you saw, I could, instead of I left Sunny Day with a Victory Belt, but just in case I could also have Heatran to set up that Sunny Day with Choice Scarf, because Choice Scarf means I'm faster than most mons, and I could just go for Sunny Day. And then Victory Bell could just come and clean up as long as I knock down all the mons that Victory Bell is weak to, and then Beedrill and all these guys are still good. I decided to switch out, I believe, my Buzzwole, because Buzzwole is pretty weak on the special defensive side, and he's pretty weak to a lot of, he has a lot of weakness, so I decided to bring in my Kangaroo instead. Let's see how this does. Lighthouse, once again, haven't really got any practice in, but we'll see how we do. So, he just said he lost. I said, no, just have fun. You don't know you lost yet. So I'm going to Heat Train as he goes for Rocks. Here I'm going to go for my own layer Rocks. Since he got, he's likely not go for default because he always started with Rocks. So he switches into Hilario, so I switch into Snorlax. He goes for Surf, and he goes to Kalmar. I go for a return. That is 53%. That's ridiculous. So Snorlax is a beast. As I will go for another return. I'm just going to keep going for return until he gives up, I guess. So he goes for a Side Strike thinking that that'll kill me, but then activating my Figure Berry. So this is a perfect scenario for me because I'm able to knock him out. That crit definitely matters. Here he goes in Tapu Bolu, and I'm going to switch out into Beedrill because I was expecting to go for Superpower, because Superpower definitely knocked me out from that range, and Superpower, he was probably expecting me to bring my Heatran, so I was really expecting Superpower more than anything. And besides, there's no other move that he has that can destroy my Beedrill, and he wouldn't go for Stone Edge because Stone Edge won't knock down my Snorlax from 57%. And Stone Edge won't even do that much to Heatran, so I didn't think that he was going to go for Stone Edge, which would have been super effective with Beedrill. But like I said, I'm expecting Superpower, so he does go for Superpower as I predicted. I still did a lot because I'm very frail, but I do get some recovery from Aggressive Terrain, which is nice. He goes into Landorus as I just go for U-turn, I believe. Yeah, I go for U-turn. Thankfully no Rocky Helmet. I'm going to weave out here, and here I'm going to make that ballsy play and go for SD, expecting him to switch out. Yeah, so that was a good move on my part to go for, no, don't. Yeah, I expect him to actually stay in. Here it doesn't show if he's choice or anything, so I'm gonna switch out into Heatran, expect him to be choice. So here I'm like, okay, he must be choice. Here's my perfect time to set up Sunny Day, so I set up Sunny Day as he just actually knocks me out with Earthquake, so he shows me he's not, and Grassy Terrain is still in effect, which is ridiculous. So I'm going to weave out again. So again, since I set up Sunny Day and his Heatran is still in the field, I can't set up my Victory Bell because Victory Bell has nothing for Heatran. So I really need to knock Heatran out. So that was like in the back of my mind, I was like, I have to knock out his Heatran. And I could go into Conqueror, but then again, he takes advantage of his Sun to go for Fire Blast, knock me out. Same with Beedrill. I mean, I could have sent out Beedrill to go for Droll Horn, but it would have been very obvious. So he would have just sent out his Landorus, and it would have just been like a lot of switching and out. Especially since Rock in the Field is not really favorable for me. And then I could have sent out Snorlax, but Snorlax had nothing for his Heatran because I don't have a Quick. I have Fire Punch and Return. So my only other option would be to send out Weave Out. And here, when I sent out Weave Out, I was thinking, if he switches out again, I can always set up go for ST. If he stays in, that would be the most ideal, right? Is I will low kick him and I'll do as much as I can as long as I get him down low enough where my Victory Bell could come in and just knock him out. That'll be great. Now it'll be perfect for him if he switches out because Heatran is a big threat to me. But what Pokemon could he really switch out into? Like if he goes into Clefairy, I could SD and then follow up with the Icicle Crash. In his mind, if I go into SD with Gastrodon, he might be fearful, and the same with Tapu Bulu and his Landorus. So right there, you only have two mines that is very fearful of ice. And then you have Clefairy probably weak on his defensive side, and then Gastrodon probably weak on his defensive side too. So in his mind, I was kind of reading his mind like, if I was in his position, I'll probably just stay in with Heatran and try to knock him out. So that's what he did, but I was so surprised that low kick actually knocked him out because I'm not a stab or anything, but I am like 4, but I guess he's heavy. He's so heavy that he just knocked himself out. So he goes for Clefairy, but I knew that Victory Bell is the perfect switch-in because he has nothing for Victory Bell. So he goes for Moonblast here. I said go for Slug Bomb. He gets by his wish. 78%. I saw that Slug Bomb did 78%. So I should, if I went for another one, it would definitely knock him out. But he was really hoping to overpredict me since I've been overpredicting him majority of the games. So here I decided to go for Soul Beam because I didn't want him to keep burning turns of my son. So going for Soul Beam would actually knock out his Gastrodon if he decided to switch in. Landorus if he decided to switch him. So it was the best play in my opinion. But that gave him the opportunity to just go for Moonblast. And he actually lowers my special attack. He had to go for Sonic Day again because it weared out. This gives him the opportunity to go for Softball. So it was pretty interesting. He had Softball and Wish. So that tells me he only has one attack move, obviously, and stuff like. So here, he was pretty confident that I would not. I would either switch out or I would not kill him because clearly I am at -1 and the last Slug Bomb did 78%, so he has 87%. So I decided to go for the Z move and I went all in, and Acid Downpour just knocked him out. So it was pretty funny because at this point Sun is just like very recent. And here I didn't want to predict anything like that. Just go for big solar beam, knock him out. He been over predicting me, so he said GG, and yeah, he lost. He knew he lost at this point. So beam, or I mean, obviously he could predict, but then at the same time I do have Weavile in the back. He knows Weavile is faster than both, so being able to knock him out. So GG to you, Lighthouse. Very good game. GG. Too easy. No, it wasn't that easy, but we're gonna move on to round 2. Okay, so I won't give you a backstory for round 2 because my next opponent goes by the name of Maki. And believe it or not, Maki was actually one of the opponents that I was actually watching my last battle against Lighthouse, because I was watching who my spectators were, and he was one of them. So I knew that I had to switch out the team. As much as I love using a Victory Bowl team, because that team is fire, but I had to switch it up because again, like he had time to kind of look and make his team around that. So I decided to go with my original team. I was actually going to go with the Beidou's team, but I need a available just in case he has Volcarona, because Volcarona, once he's set up, I'm screwed. So now looking at my opponent's team, very good player. He has Alakazam, this guy Cortana, and then Lele, Landorus, Magneto, and Rotom. All HM Pokemon very dominating, as I have my standard team, as you know. Let's see how this team does. But if I were to just go back and see what my Victory Belt team would have done to this guy, it would have been way better. You know why? I'll tell you why. It's because Heatran, right? Heatran actually checks to his Cortana, right? He could always go for Sega Sword gotcha, but at the same time, once I set up Sun would definitely knock out Victory Belt, definitely knock out his Delele, definitely knock out his Landorus with Soul Beam, definitely knock out with Magneto with the Weather Ball, definitely knock out Rotom with Soul Beam. And definitely knock out with his knock out the throw Alakazam with the Soul Beam. Besides, I have Weavile. Obviously, knockoff would do a lot to everyone with Ice Punch or Ice Shard. Definitely knock these guy out. Sword Dance would knock off, would knock him out. So like Weavile, and my Victory Belt were two big threats to hit this guy's team. So I should have went with that. But again, this guy watched my battle last time, so I didn't want to risk it. Nonetheless, let's get on with this battle. So I think we're gonna have fun. He's gonna have fun. So my Hydreigon here is very Scarf. He is Landorus. I'm scared of that guy, so I'm going to switch out. Yes, he's switching out too, so he's expecting me to Scarf. I'm expecting him to be Scarf. He tells me immediately that he's Assault Vest. So he goes back to Landorus and Registeel. Obviously he does not favor me, so I'm gonna go Mana Buzz. As he goes for rocks, he goes to knock off my Rocket Helmet. But yeah, I'm gonna take this opportunity to just go for Defog. He goes for U-turn out into Magneto. Goes for Power Play, that's absolutely nothing. Here I decide to switch out. If he goes for Volt into Landorus, and he's just playing this mind game with U-turning and Volt switching, and yeah. So he does this for a while until here I believe he goes to Stuff Rock, and he goes for U-turn. So he gets me down to like low enough, and he decides to switch into Tapu Lele because he wants to make sure that his Moonblaster will be able to kill me from that range. I'm gonna go into Slowbro here. I expect him to go for something, but he goes for Calm Mind. That's very surprising. So I was like, oh man, this is a threat. So he goes to Moonblast again, takes me down low enough. Here, I didn't expect that, but he actually goes for all out Plumbing, Z move, knocked me out. I just lost my Registeel right there and then, which means I can't set a rock. Go Clefairy because Clefairy does have unaware. I just want his Tiger Terrain to wear off, and he does wear off this turn, so I'm like, alright, now I'm going to go back to Clefairy, as he just goes through Moonblast, just 43%. He decides to switch out, as I just go for Moonlight. Since his Magneto is not really a threat, because it looks like he's a Volt Switch Assault Vest, I'm going to go for Calm Mind. Calm Mind, And then he goes in Katana. Katana, I'm going to switch on to slow one. I was expecting him to go for Smog Strike. I'm also expecting to be Scarf in some way, so that's a risk. But again, it was a risk I won't take. He goes in Votown gets burned. I switch on to Hadouken. I am Scarf, so I should look pretty good. He goes in Tapu Lele here. I was like, alright, I'm just going to. I have no one. Like, he already knew that Tapu Lele is a huge threat to my mind, so he thinks he's faster. 317. Well, I'm naturally faster, but like, I'm super fast because I have Choice Scarf. But anyways, he already proved he's not Scarf because he uses applying Z move. So I'm going to dot pause. I flinch him. Thankfully, I don't understand any of that. Sorry to say, but I'm going to switch out into Slowpoke here. I expect him to switch into some other mon, but I decided to stay in here because I know he can't do much of anything. Second, I do crit him here, but I do have to Psychic Terrain, and I am highly offensive, so I don't know how much that matters. But if it did, I'm so sorry about that. He goes into Alakazam, Levitate, go for Shadow Ball, but he doesn't know I'm faster. So I'm actually really hoping for him to stay in because Alakazam is a threat. He's Mega Alakazam. Here, he decided to switch into Magnera. I go for Fire Blast. I predicted that. Here, he goes into Volt Switch again. I should stay in. But he goes into Tapu Lele. And Tapu Lele is a huge threat. So then I go into Mana Buzz here. And yeah, he Moonblast on. I decided to sack my Mana Buzz because at this point, I don't really need him. I could just go for Trick Room Slow Blow. And I should be able to clean out his entire team if it works out. But I go into Hadouken because I am faster. Here he's going to Landorus. I decide to Fire Blast, and I'm going to risk him. I'm going to Fire Blast again because I know I'm faster. Regardless if he Choice Scarf, I'm Choice Scarf 2, so I should be able to knock him out. Go on another Fire Blast. He lived with 4 HP, unfortunately, but Hadouken did his job very good. I do lose him. He goes in Slow Blow. I'm going to just go for Trick Room, and then I'm going to go for the Z move with the Inferno Overdrive. I was hoping to knock him out, but he lived with 4 HP. I was like, what the hell? So I should have saved it, to be honest, as you will see later on. So he regenerates, he goes to Alakazam, regenerates Trace. I go into Convertible as he goes with Shadow Ball, and Shadow Ball does 30%. He gets the special defense drop, which is very unfortunate. I go for Carmine as he goes with Sidekick, and that does big damage. And I was like, alright, let me just hit him with this Moonblast as he just knocks me out again. Here I go into Gale, and yeah, right here, okay, I have to pause it here because right here, okay, ooh, what did I do? No, I switched, okay, so, okay, right here was the biggest mistake of my life because I was so much in a hurry to go press a button, and I accidentally pressed bulk up, and to be honest, there was no reason for me to go bulk up because, once again, his Lele is like 4%, his Magneto is like dead, his content is definitely going to be scared of my Drain Punch regardless, and I can live any hit he has. And I know that this guy is probably Scarf, right? Judging from earlier, and he can maybe bandit, so I might not be able to live it. But I think he is Scarf. I'm pretty certain he was Scarf. I think I should be able to live it because I am Mega Evolution. So here, his Alakazam, I don't think he wants to stay in because I do have Shadow Sneak. So the best move to do was with Drain Punch because Drain Punch again knock out his Lele, knock out his Magneto. I don't think he will ever send out his Contender. So as you see here, he switches the Lele to set up Psychic Terrain, right? Because he was expecting a Shadow Snake, but I wasn't going to do a Shadow Snake because I knew that Psychic Terrain is still available in the field. And besides, it was smarter for him to save the Lele in the beginning because instead of sacking, because Lele, no matter what, it's faster than Gale. And if you save your Lele, you can activate your Psychic Terrain and still have your Lele, which is faster than my Gale, and you'll still be able to knock me out, do a lot of damage with Moonblast. Which you'll see here, but he could have done later and just stack one of his other mons because Magneto can't really do anything. But nonetheless, I made this wrong move and it cost me the game because as you see, I go for bulk up and that was not a smart move because now he goes for Moonblast, does big damage, almost knocked me out, and I now finally go for Drain Punch, which was not smart because had I knocked him out with a Drain Punch, he would have had these 3 mons. Granted, Alakazam, I believe, does have Regenerate here, or he doesn't. Let me go back. So Shadow Ball. He did. Yeah, he had Regenerate, so he probably would have like 70%. But at this point, he's probably gonna bring back his Alakazam again, so that he doesn't take the Shadow Sneak because the Psychic Terrain would have been up. So he would have brought this guy back in at 70%, and I would have still had full life. and he would have probably hit me with Shadow Ball, which would have been super effective, but it would not have killed me, and I would have hit him with a Mega Evolution Leaf Blade, and that would have knocked him out, because that would have been neutral, but he's very paper thin, so that would have knocked him out. And then he probably would have brought in his Cortana maybe. Or maybe if it doesn't knock him out, like say I Leaf Blade and it doesn't knock him out, then he could hit me with 2 Shadow Balls, knock me out. Then I'll bring on my Slowbro. After regenerate, I should be able to live 1. And I would be able to Trick Room and go for 5 bucks on both his Cortana and maybe a Skull on his Magneto, just so he doesn't miss. I would have won a game. But in any case, let's say I do knock him out with Leaf Blade, if you guys are following, he would have brought in his Cortana, and the Cortana would lock himself in something. I don't think he'll lock himself in Leaf Blade, because I think I would be able to live with Leaf Blade. He would probably went Smart Strike, something like that, and then I would have sent him a Silver and Trick Room. No matter what, it would have made this game much closer. I don't know for certain who would win, but it would have made it super close. But here, unfortunately, he has 69%. I'm trying to go for Shadow just to see. And yeah, Slowbro, and as you see here, Shadow won't kill me. I actually live with 2 HP. And I go for Trigger. He decides to switch out as I go for Skull. And here he actually goes into his Alakazam trying to trace my regenerate. So no matter what, he could switch out into his Cortana, and then but he decided to stay in here. And as you'll see here, my Fireback actually does 48%. And if I had saved my Infernal Overdrive early on, because it wasn't like I can't kill off his Magneto if he had like 25% or 30%, because yeah, another Fireback should be able to do a lot to him. But nonetheless, yeah, I do lose the game, unfortunately, as he just knocks me out, and we just said GG. So yeah, GG. Well played. He made us replay unlisted. So yeah, that was a well played game, well fought, down to the wire. I did make this new team. I should have used my victory bow, because that's my team, but unfortunately I have to wait until 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now in order to use this team for 7th gen. So if you guys like this video and you found this video sort of entertaining, make sure to leave this video a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe, make sure to share, make sure to leave in the comment section below what you would like to see more. I do want to make videos that you guys enjoy watching, so let me know. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching to the end, and I'll see you in my next vid for I believe Pokemon today. Peace.